Iltaa nuoret. Tai no, tällä hetkellä ei ole ilta. Aurinko paistaa ja kevät tekee tuloa ja takana on jäät lähdössä ja me ollaan tässä nosturin ulkopuolella, nosturin juurella ja jututetaan yhteyttä nimeltä Meshuggah, joka on tullut tänne esiintymään. Bändiltä on just tullut, tai no jokin aika sitten tullut levy nimeltään Nothing. Se on tässä. Vitun tymäkkää vääntöä. Welcome to Finland.
Thanks.
How are you doing?
Okay. I guess it's nice to be here, but the boat ride took a toll, so we're all beat up today, but it's nice. We're a pretty old band. We've been around for a bunch of years, yeah. So, but I mean, the first couple of years, like back in the beginning of the 90s, was pretty slow going. Nothing much happened, just like playing in Umeå where we used to live and stuff like that. So I would say that the real career, if you want to call it, like, you know, something like that, started in '91 when we released the first album, Contradictions Collapse, on Nuclear Blast. And since then, we've been just, you know, we've been pretty lazy. We don't release albums that often, but, you know, we've been steadily growing and just doing our thing, so.
How did the style develop into what it is today? Because first mini album was not that technical as to, you know, the leap from the first one to Contradictions Collapse was just enormous. So what happened?
I don't know really. I think Psykisk Testbed and Contradictions Collapse were pretty much, you know, the first baby steps of the bands, in that term that, you know, it's pretty obvious where the influences did come from, you know, back then. It was a lot of thrash metal, but with a lot of technical input. I would say that, you know, how we progressed from there was to, after Contradictions Collapse, we really started to find our own sound, you know, where we really knew that we knew what we were as a band and where we wanted to go. Before that, it was more of a let's rehearse and have a lot of fun and play stuff, you know. That's like when we grew conscious of ourselves as a band, so.
A lot of people must be asking you these same questions, but how do you come up with songs like these? I mean, people have been analyzing your music a lot. They've been talking about syncopation and metric displacement and polyrhythmics and whatever. I mean, do you even think about stuff like that when you write it, or does it just come out the way it does?
It just comes out the way it does. Because to us, music is nothing. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you're a disco, you know, techno-oriented outfit, or if you're a punk band, or if you're whatever, you know. Yeah. You have ideas, and they come out, and we put them together, and this is what it turns out to be. But as you said, a lot of people try to, like, is this a conscious move, and did you figure it out like this? I mean, if you figure music out, it turns out to be, in my opinion, and the other guys, yeah, it's boring, because you lose the energy and you lose the heart. I mean, I don't care if a song is technical or not. I just care if it's unique to me.
Eight-string guitars. I mean, first question, why? And second question, how has it affected your songwriting?
Well, why is pretty easy to answer. We had this idea way back to, like, you know, try to record something with only basses, you know, and have like 3 guys playing bass just for the hell of it and see how it turned out. But it really didn't work out. We just, you know, fool around with it, and it really didn't work out. And then we met this guy who builds these guitars, Nevborn, and he was like, well, I got a prototype for an 8-string guitar, and you might want to try it because it gets like real down low and it would add something to your sound. And we're like, okay, bring it on, man. We'll try it out. And we did, and we're like, yeah, this is what we want now, because it totally like revolutionized what we sounded like. Yeah. So we felt that we didn't get stuck in, you know, the old type of things we've been doing with the 7 strings, and this also ties into how it affects our writing songs, because all of a sudden we have this new spectrum. Basically, what we're doing on Nothing album is we're playing bass but on guitar. Yeah. So it was fresh to us. It always feels cool to have something new to explore, and that's what this is about. So.
How was the general experience of writing this album compared to Chaosphere, and were there any specific goals that you set out, or?
The two last records, both Chaosphere and Nothing, have been pretty tough for us because there's been a lot of shit going on around the band and stuff we've been doing that has been dragging out on the time, and we're always, all of a sudden we find ourselves in a spot where we realize, fuck, we need to go do an album right now because we all got all this shit coming up, and for Chaosphere, it was basically pressure from the record company that made us, write songs real quickly. But
is that why it became so aggressive?
Yeah, because we felt that we're under pressure. What can we do in this limited amount of time? Yeah. We can explore the aggression of the band. That's it. This time around, we had the 8-string, so we wanted to go a little bit of a different way, but we still had the time limit because the Ozfest was coming up, and we were everybody was shoving that down our throats. You need to go. And we're like, shit. So I would say that this songwriting process for Nothing has been pretty hectic and pretty tough for us, but on the other hand, I think that might have been a good thing if you're looking back on it, because it made us be less conscious. We didn't redo a lot of stuff. We just did it, and that's it.
Talking about Ozfest, how did the American audience respond to you guys with the Ozfest tour and the Tool tour? Because I've heard that the Tool audience seems to be pretty hard on their opening bands.
Yeah, they are, but we've been really fortunate because first of all, when we went with the Ozfest, there was no problem at all. I mean, they just got into it and it was really great. And the American crowd has been generally really good to us, and we're doing best over there. So it's always fun to play in the U.S. because of the response, but. The Tool crowd was a totally different deal, but we were playing the shows and we were like, all right, they're pretty. Some nights were excellent, and some nights were so-so. Yeah. So we were like, okay, but there was always a lot of people there. So we were like, okay, at least we get to play in front of a huge crowd, which is great. I mean, that's just great exposure to us. The thing though was that we were talking, we were hanging out a lot with Tool because we got along really great. So they were riding with us on the bus and we were partying and stuff. So we were like, oh, some nights it feels really slow going up before you guys, and the crowd is so fucking lame. And they're like, dude, you're fucked up. No band has gotten as good a reception as you guys have. And we're like, really? What did they do to the other bands? And they're like, oh well, when Phantomas was on and Tomahawk was on, they threw things at them. So we didn't get that. So yeah, we were lucky.
So you've been playing and writing music with Meshuggah for 15 years now. How do you feel that your overall view on playing and writing music has changed in those 15 years?
We've always been like this, but we have become more and more as a band. We feel a lot more what's important to us as a band, where we want to go. Yeah. For every record we release, we realize what mistakes we've done and what good things we've done, and what we want to take away and what we want to add. And that makes it to be it sounds pretentious, but it's like a musical journey in a way, because for every record we want to explore something new but still keep our sound so it's recognizable, Never stray from the common line.
In 3 or less words, describe Meshuggah.
Audio insanity.
Siinä se oli Meshuggah, ja jälleen kerran niin kuin aina, että jos joku on niin tyhmä, että missaa tämmöisen bändin, niin ei sit voi sanoa oikein mitään. Kiitoksia tästä, ja nyt sisälle. Täällä on kylmä.